Except that doesn't even make sense. If Mel had locked the keys in the car...
During lunch, these students at Facing History New Tech High School are providing nourishment for their minds.
Oak Ridge is probably the safest neighborhood in Atlanta.
They are reading Dear Martin by Nic Stone.
It's power in the book, and the book has a ton of good information about real world problems.
The book is about a traffic stop that turns violent with police officers and how a young black teen grapples with racism and what it means for his future while writing letters to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The students read some chapters together and then discuss during this lunchtime book club.
I don't disagree with everything he's doing. Like I have a heart. I would help too.
The goal is for them to break down each chapter to see how they see themselves in each chapter with justice and how they can relate. So here at Facing History, we like to bring and connect the outside world into the things that they're reading here inside of the school.
Dear Martin is on the banned reading list in some school districts.
It is a violation of our intellectual freedom and allowing students to think critically and decide what they would like to read.
But books are not banned here at CMSD. Principal Melissa Swedlow wanted her students to read a couple of banned books this school year.
Students should have opportunities and access to materials that they want to read, we shouldn't keep them from it. They are given materials to read in their English classes and everything, but they should have the opportunity to find out more about their world and themselves by having access to a variety of different books, and we shouldn't keep that away from them.
The students could choose from Dear Martin and The Hill We Climb, an inaugural poem for the country by Amanda Gorman. That's the poem she read at President Joe Biden's inauguration. Some students are stunned. This book is banned.
It's crazy. I don't understand. Why is it banned? All it does is just explain, what we should really be doing as people and not, not liking people just because of whatever is going on or they're different from us.
To hear that they were not allowed to read that book, they wanted to read it even more. It just gave them more of an edge, like, oh, they're saying why? Like, why can I read this book? What is this book going to tell me that the world don't want me to know?
I think people of higher power are afraid of truth and reality, and they're afraid other people are going to be educated about reality. I think they're afraid that we'll be educated in a way that will help the world realize the wrongdoings.
Excuse my language.
These students are not only reading banned books, but learning why those in positions of power may not want others to read them. They are also learning how to find their voice and to advocate for themselves.
There is a line in this book, I believe. It says, because to put our future first, we must first set our differences aside. And difference scares a lot of people. It's scary because it's different. And I think if people learned more about what's so different, they wouldn't be as scared. But that's the thing. People need fear to stay in power.
Because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true.